Hello and welcome to Comics in Quarantine, solving problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Erich McElroy.
Yeah, he is.
Hello.
Hello. How have you been? Are you well? Which is a worrying question to ask these days.
I know you feel like you have to start every conversation that way. I texted someone that I haven't talked to since this began, and I feel like I wanted something from them, but I felt like I had to say, "Are you well? Okay, can I get that out of the way now? Give me something. Give me something I want. Give me something I want." But before we get too far into the show, well, welcome to Comics in Quarantine, Solving Problems. I'm Erich McElroy. You are,
Stephen Allen.
and we are here.
Look at the books. Look at the books.
He has not. Have you shifted any of those?
Well, actually, because I was saying buy them from Amazon, but actually, yeah, if you want to buy one, I could just send it to you. So, I'm allowed near a post office, I think. So if you want one, have one. Yeah.
You promise not even to sneeze on it first?
Unless you pay extra, in which case that's a Patreon special where I will flub all over it if you want my antibodies.
Yep, that's right. Because since we are comics in quarantine who can't work, we will do anything for money, including a twice a week talk show on free streaming services.
Yeah.
But yes, so we're here to solve your problems. We're here to talk about the news. But before we get too far into that, Steve, I need to ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
What did you do today, Steve?
I mean, not a lot. That doesn't really differentiate it from any other day, but...
Did you go anywhere?
No.
Did you use public transport?
No.
Well, then, sir, I salute you. Because you have done your civic duty, as we were told today by the Transport Secretary.
Ah, okay.
Grant Shapland claims it is your, speaking to you, Steve, civic duty to avoid public transport during this crisis.
My pleasure.
And I tell my grandchildren, what did you do, Grandpa, during the pandemic of 2020? I did fuck all. That's exactly what the government wanted me to do, sonny. So there we go.
Yeah.
You, sir, are a patriot.
Do you know, and look, people throw around the word hero too much these days. But am I a hero? I'm not saying I'm not one. I wear a mask, so I might be one. Do you know what? It's interesting, isn't it? That I watched the Grant Shapps Downing Street conference thing and loving the fact that clearly, it says control the virus. He's not controlled his hair. He's one of the people who's really struggling with it because he normally has a better hairdo, and as it's growing out, it looks terrible. Boris planned for this. There is no level of growing out unkeptness that's going to make him look any different to what we're used to. But he did say that if you have a car, you should drive it. And it was just so odd. It was like watching Top Gear. You normally don't hear like pro car stuff. Because it's bizarre to think, start of this year, it was all about Australian bushfires and whatnot. So we were very eco-friendly. For the last whole year, people were talking about single-use plastic. Actually, I don't use single-use plastics. I like to carry a cup with me at all times, just in case I ever get a coffee. So actually, no, I'm not going to use single-use plastics. And then the virus comes along, and they're wearing those flipping gloves all the time. Like, oh, get them off, they're dirty, but it's a single-use plastic. Throw it at a dolphin. So it's amazing how quick things change.
Yep. Pretty soon they're going to have Jeremy Clarkson up there doing the press briefings. Save yourselves.
I could totally believe it.
So I feel better about. I feel this is better than doing that clap thing. I mean, I didn't even go outside to clap today because I figured, you know what? I already did my civic duty. I'm a key worker. I didn't go anywhere.
Really? Well done to you. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, thank you.
If you stayed in as well, why not boast about it by messaging us? If you're watching it on YouTube, if you're watching it on, I'm trying to look where all the other ones are, Twitch, wherever that one is, Facebook, the Twitter, send us your messages. We will reply and interact and whatnot with all of those. Sharon already says more cars and more bicycles. That's not going to end well. Oh yeah, good point.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, they were handing out the billions today. 2 billion for bikes, 2 billion for all kinds of things. So, we got loads.
It's amazing how many, how much is going to be spent getting people on these bikes. So far, there are predictions of how many people will die of coronavirus. No one's telling us how many people are going to die because of the bikes, and I'd be interested to see what those stats are. Interesting stuff. And Eleanor says, Eric, you've got a proper echo going on. Oh, you've got... Eric, how are you getting some sound echo? We had this problem earlier on when we did a little...
I don't have anything on that I know
test.
of, but I'll shut some things down just in case. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Just in case there's some random stuff happening.
It could be this end for all I know. But I think it's not.
Some of my words are so good they're worth hearing more than once.
Well, I mean, let's not go too far with those descriptions. Well, it shouldn't.
Go.
It shouldn't be. No, this is getting technical. It shouldn't be this end because there's only one version of your sound coming through this end. So we'll plow on and we'll see what happens. Oh no.
We'll see what happens. I've turned off anything that might be making any sound. So hopefully, Eleanor, if the echo's gone, let us know.
Okay. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, so you can send your messages via whichever platform you'd like to go for. In terms of what I've done today, I mean, nothing particularly out of the ordinary. What's it been? It's been Thursday, leg day for me. I've not been working out. It's just you've got to pace yourself when it comes to Pornhub. And actually, that means I'm looking forward to tomorrow, which is cardio, which is a portmanteau word made up of porno and cardigan. It's a niche thing. But, you know, I'll search. I'll see what you can do. And that's exactly my point. This is the new normal. That what we were dealing with is everything's different. Phrases that meant things in the past don't anymore. And we're hearing it all the time. Here's a headline. Dominic Raab talking about the new normal. You can't find a news bulletin without people waffling on about the old new normal. What about the people who miss the old normal? I wasn't quite done with it. Do you remember the old normal? When you could, like, shake hands and stuff like that? Feels weird.
Yep.
It feels weird when you're watching things like films and TV shows and you see people shaking hands. Does that freak you out when you see that, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, any kind of human touch seems strange to me because, you know, I've been married for a long time. And that's basically it. It's just I've got the kids, you know, to shake hands with. I mean, that's the formal way that I don't know how you were shown affection by your parents as you were growing up.
I'm northern, so we weren't.
Punch on the shoulder, good handshake.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's bizarre that you watch TV shows, people are so close. I've been rewatching some of the Amityville films, and the scariest part about it is not the actual monsters and whatnot, it's the fact that they shake the real estate person's hand when they move in. Ugh! Do you have no sense of self-preservation?
So they didn't do any hand sanitizer wipe after that at all?
That's what they need to do. The spirits would kill it. So it is very weird to see TV based on how things used to be when it was the old normal. And that means the TV show Normal People don't make any sense to me. Everyone's saying, it's this really great thing on BBC iPlayer. I think, I've not watched it, but I think it's about like a couple of friends who they're friends with benefits. They get it on every so often. We can watch the trailer, actually. Have a look.
You know, when we were together in first year of college.
That was kind of a perfect time in my life, to be honest.
Yeah, now, that was all very well being normal people when normal was normal, the old normal. But new normal, you can't get within 2 meters of someone who doesn't live in the same house as you. They can't do that. I'm not saying it's impossible for, like, two friends to have sexual encounters, but it would be more remote. It would be a TV show called New Normal People, and I've made the trailer. Right, I guess I'll watch some more Netflix. It's not that funny. No trousers. Why not? What? What's your problem? I think that's
Now we know what you've done with all that extra toilet
that's
paper.
what we call acting. I did it today.
I tell you, the BAFTAs, we are racking up the BAFTAs. Is that normal?
Yeah, that's the new normal. But so when it comes to dealing with the new normal, there are ways of sorting these kind of things out. Let's have a look at this one. This was the front page of the newspaper today. Loads of tabloids had this wraparound on it, and it says, "Stay alert," which we know about. "Keep your distance. Wash our hands." A bit weird, but think of others and play our part. And I put it to you, Eric, that in my little piece of acting, that vignette that I did, the character I played stayed apart, washed his hands afterwards, very much played his part, and so that's the way of socially distancing. So that's the future. I'm all for it. And just as a reminder, we are being told to stay alert. I'm still being very alert, which I can prove, because if at any time, whoopah, because I'm alert.
Oh. Wow. He still got it.
Still got it.
And if you don't know what that was about, you can see our Tuesday show, which is still available to stream.
Yep. See the whole thing. Brilliant. Right. Over to you, Eric. What have you spotted?
Yeah, well, I mean, before we go into that, Jake Lee said hi on Facebook, I think. So I want to say hi to Jake. Thank you very much. And a thank you to Chris Curling, who one of the old normals was that we used to go out to gigs where people used to just book us to pay us to do comedy. It was quite satisfying. It was very nice. And now that doesn't exist anymore. And so that's why if you like the comedy that we're doing, you can do like Chris did, and he donated towards the show, which is lovely. So thank you very much, Chris. And if you want to contribute, you can. You can buy us a Ko-fi there. That was the old normal. Remember the old normal? We used to just not have to be on the internet.
Yeah. Chris actually has sent a message. He says, "I've been back at work for 4 days after 7 weeks off, and now I need a holiday. Is this normal?" Yes, Chris, it's the new normal. Congratulations. Welcome to the new normal.
I hope you didn't use the tube today, Chris.
Yeah.
Because that makes you a traitor.
It is difficult, isn't it? If you have to use public transport, how can you guarantee that no one's going to come near you, that they're going to avoid you? Maybe even if you can try and get them to avoid eye contact, that'd be even better. So whenever I've been using the tube, I've just been saying, big issue, and they're just like the path moves. It's great. Excuse me, I'm just trying to collect some money. They're out your way. It's amazing.
It's amazing. Well, speaking of new normals, we did get some new normals this week with the Prime Minister's announcements on Sunday and the rollout on Monday. And basically, one of our new freedoms is, of course, we can't yet go on holiday, but we can do the next best thing, which is, of course, the garden center.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, perfect.
Hi, the store is closing, so if you could please fuck off home, because we're here risking our lives so that you can buy compost. I mean, some of the things that we're now allowed to do as of this week is we can go to the garden center, we can play tennis, we can play golf. This is the most middle-class unlockdown I've ever seen. I mean, basically, you know, go to work, but only if you're working class.
Yeah.
I mean, you can drive places.
Yeah.
But you can't stay overnight.
Yeah. Public transport, terrible. I guess if you are of a socially lower level, you're more likely to have to use public transport. But if you've got a fancy car, go for a drive. At some point, it's going to be like shopping is allowed only if you're going for quinoa.
Don't even get me. Well, the thing is, you know, I made this garden center remark because I've been forced to go and buy compost by my wife because she has been growing a garden in our garden in preparation for the apocalypse that we're in now. And I can tell you, Steve, that come the harvest, we will have quinoa and 4 carrots.
That'll keep you going. Nice. Loving it.
So if you haven't donated yet, I need more compost.
Yeah, you're going to need some more food as well to live off. Any more freedoms that they've offered us?
I think that was the main ones, is that we can go around. We can see one person at a time, not from your household. Oh, so that's the new thing. So, Steve, is there anybody in particular that you'd like to see?
I think the connection's a bit dodgy at the moment. I can't quite hear the.
I mean, one person that would be special for you to visit, just one.
That I'm staying alert and think of Britain. Something like that. I'm lying back and thinking of England, Eric. I'm sorry. Do you know what? I would. Of course, you would be my one person that I would pick to meet up with. But I've just checked my diary and I'm really busy.
Oh, okay. Well, just let me know. I'm available whenever.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get back to that. It has caused some problems, this weird thing about it. So you can have a cleaner and you can sell your house, but you can't go and visit your parents, which is a bit weird. Not front page, but one of the news sites today. Government defends letting you go into a stranger's house, but not your mum's, which is anything that says your mum always seems like it's a bit weird. But I think I know what they're trying to say.
Well, I went to your mum's house.
Yeah, they like that. I see. It is strange, isn't it, that you can have a cleaner come round to your house, but you can't, and therefore a cleaner could go round to your parents' house, but you can't go round to your parents' house. And people just aren't thinking outside the box enough. Of course, you could if you went round there and cleaned your parents' house. A lot of people hearing that thinking, oh, I'm really going to miss mum and dad for the next few weeks. The other option is you can go around to a house if you're buying it. So if you want to see mum and dad go and buy their house. And again, a lot of people thinking, I'm going to inherit it anyway. Why rush these things? So yeah, difficult times. We've got some more messages. Jerry K says, evening, gentlemen. Evening, Jerry. Anita's got a nice smiley face for us. Thank you for that. Mike Monero says, what's the new normal comedy gigs going to be like? They're just not. This is it. It's truth.
This is our lives now for the next 9 months. And Jason Peters, who's a friend of mine from back in America. So we have an international audience tonight. Wow. So Jason says hi as well. USA. Woo!
And Eleanor says, who's been showing you their new shorts tan? Not quite sure what that means. The what? Is it? If it's the fact that when I was editing the video earlier on, I for some reason, in pre-recorded stuff, I look like I've got more of a tan. And I've only been out in the sun once, so it clearly is like kidney failure. But thank you for paying attention to it. Any messages, send them through. Wherever you're watching it, you can get the messages to us. Mike Randall says, best way to ensure social distancing, no deodorant. Way ahead of you. You can also restart deer stalking. Okay, nice, thank you. Keep the messages coming through, and if you'd like to contribute to stop us being too poor, the web address is along the bottom, and you can buy us a coffee.
That's right. And we will bath. We will bathe. We'll get some bleach, whatever it is.
It's not
some compost and some bleach at the same time.
Do you know what, actually, maybe we don't need to worry too much, and I wanted to try and bring good news on this show as well. Here's a story. The exact day when the UK will see 0 coronavirus deaths has been predicted by experts. Yes! Now, I've written it down because you know what newspaper stories are like. It takes half of the day reading it until they actually say there will be fewer than 100 cases predicted on June the 14th. And if you're looking for the first day that the UK sees 0 deaths from coronavirus, June 30th. So my plan is, if I'm going to get coronavirus, I'm going to get it then, because then I won't die.
You are so smart.
Maths. But if you want to try and stay safe, here's another story that might help you. Scientists are calling for urgent research into whether normal mouthwash, readily available in stores, could be effective in reducing coronavirus transmission. This is brilliant. This is what Trump was looking for right from the start. Instead of talking about bleach, if he'd have said mouthwash, it would have been absolutely great. Kind of, we need to find a way of getting it inside the body. Gargle it, mate. I mean, it's probably right on the back of the thing. Don't worry, it's technical. Let some medical doctors do it. But that's good news, that we might be solving the problem of transmission. But seeing that story, Eric, made me realise I think I need to apologise. Because we're going to be living in a world where more people are being told to use mouthwash. Yeah. That was my dream. If we look through many of the other rules that we have to stick to now as well, stay at home as much as possible. By God, I've wanted that all along my whole life. Work from home if you can. Not see people. Great. Limit contact with other people. I do. Keep your distance. Wash your hands regularly, which is something I almost had a problem with because I was doing it too much. I realised we're living in a world where an introvert made a wish on a Zoltar machine, and it's all come true. Eric, we're living in a world where you can walk past a pub and it's silent. You don't hear rowdy men cheering when someone scores a goal because there is no sport. I think I need to apologise. I've made a Faustian pact. And if we learn anything from films like Bedazzled, whenever you make a wish, there's always some sort of downside to it. So I'm sorry. I think I made this coronavirus thing happen. I'm living in the world I've always wanted, and I didn't realise it would bring about so much death and suffering. So sorry about that.
Sorry. Well, and to think that on our show on Tuesday, we talked about the fact that Bryan Adams was blaming the bat eaters or people in Wuhan,
Yeah.
or maybe it's some
It's
lab
me.
or something else.
The
The
introverts.
reality is, it's just your bucket
The,
list.
the introverts wishing on stars. God, they were shooting stars as well before this, weren't they? There is something I don't like about this. So maybe my theory is not 100% watertight. This one,
Okay.
government seeking use of mobile data to monitor us, and I was shocked by this because I was watching one of the press conferences and they said, "Oh, there's been a slight increase in people leaving the house because they can tell from phone data." And I picked up my phone and I said, "I trusted you. I thought we had something. I took you into my life. I took you into the bathroom with me, and you've been telling them what I've been getting up to? Who are you? Just one thing I need to know. Is my search history still private?" Acting, ladies and gentlemen.
I like how you did that. And scene.
So I do it.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's all right. Some more messages coming through. Let's have a look. Sharon says, I'm going to fess up that I gargled a little bit, a little watered down TCP. You gargled TCP. Is that to try and stop the virus or to make sure people don't come anywhere near you? Either way, good thinking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the thing is, I mean, with performances like that, that's the kind of thing. If I was watching this show, I'd make a donation.
Thank you. Support the artists. Yeah, the address is at the bottom.
artists.
Buy us a coffee.
Yeah.
Anthony says on YouTube, "Am I the only person who watched the Daily Briefing and wondered where Danger Mouse is?" Nice. Crumbs.
Somewhere.
And
Mice are particularly high risk of coronavirus of a certain age, and Danger Mouse is pretty
yeah.
old.
And Eleanor says, "Spray direct into the mouth." I'm not sure. Oh, spray the TCP direct into the mouth. Nice. Okay, good tips. I mean, maybe don't follow any of the advice in any of the comment sections of this show in case we actually end up increasing the death total.
Yeah, we can't afford liability insurance, so please don't listen to what we're saying. Well, the other thing that's happening that is, I guess, another new normal. There's so many new normals. Is the way the government works. And as you know, the U.S. government still functions, sort of.
Yeah.
And one of the things that the Senate does in the U.S. is supposed to have oversight over the executive. And so this week in the U.S. Senate, there was some hearings with Dr. Fauci, who's the chief scientist in the U.S., and other chief scientists. And so what we're seeing now, though, because they're all practicing social distancing, and actually Fauci quarantine, they're all doing these things just like we are. Like we used to do live comedy, they used to do live hearings, but now everybody's doing things through Zoom and other technology. But when the U.S. Senate does it, trying to figure all this stuff out, when you get to see a bunch of men and women in their 80s and 90s using this technology, it's pretty incredible. I mean, so we had testifying today. We had Anthony Fauci, who's one of the chief scientists in the. This guy is a super genius. You can see that by the books behind him. But the entire time, it just looked like he never looked up. The whole time he didn't. I mean, the guy is a doctor. America's plan to get out of coronavirus is in his hands, and he can't even figure out where the webcam is, for fuck's sake.
I love how you say he's a genius because of the books. And if we look at the picture again, you can't see what the books are, but it's just there are books. Therefore, this guy's clever.
And you've got books. I've just got I've got a beer sign.
You know who we're dealing with. Nice.
So Fauci, the whole 4 hour. I mean, he testified all day. Never looked at the camera once. The other person testifying was the head of the CDC. He's also gone for books.
Yeah.
But what is he Aquaman? What is the color of that wall behind him? I mean, what is that? Blue? Is that teal? I don't understand.
You're right. It's aquamarine.
Yeah. I mean, he does kind of look like, with that beard, he looks like he should have a pitchfork as well and be sitting on a throne under the sea.
Although, if you look at his the shelves, he's put lots of pictures in front of the books, which makes me think he's got lots of books that he doesn't want people knowing about.
Yeah, is he been talking to Michael Gove?
Yeah.
That's
the top tip, isn't it? Always make sure you put your picture of your family in front of your copy of Mein Kampf.
That's right. Yeah, cover up that penthouse letters. That's old school porn, kids. Look it up. Next, we had more of a standard. This is the general, straight out of Central Casting. It's got the flags there. Got the uniform on. Prominent though is that sofa in the background.
Nice.
I don't know what's going on in the general's office that he needs that couch. Now come on and talk to the major general.
Run it up that flagpole. Normally I have flags like that in the back of this studio as well, but so couldn't quite fit them in the shot. But normally that's what I've got back here. It's fancy.
Wait, why didn't he space the curtains of the flags out so they would have just I don't know what the sofa's trying to say, but I bet it could tell some stories. And the last person testifying was the FDA commissioner, Stephen Hall.
Wow.
Coming down from heaven. Now, the glow behind him is just incredible. He's the head of the FDA. Now, I don't know. Do you know what that stands for?
No, what is it?
The Food and Drug Administration.
Hello.
Dude is tripping.
So one's been taking a little bit of his work home with him there, hasn't he? Yeah. Having a little bit of the old. Next thing you know. What? I mean, it's like the special effects in The Flash when he moves really quickly. Like everything's vibrating so well. Wow. Loving it.
He's taking speed. The senators weren't much better because, again, these guys are all old. Senator Bernie Sanders was there, old favorite.
Yeah.
Old Bernie Sanders. And you notice in the background, what has he got? He's got a poster for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I like it hot. I like it chili.
Wow. You wouldn't have pegged him for a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, would you?
Yeah.
Music is my aeroplane. It's a government-funded aeroplane. Wow. Name any other Red Hot Chili Peppers song. Give it away now. Give it away. What I've got, I got to give it to your mama on that guy's couch.
But he's got to get this hand in the shot. He's got a tiny screen. Still, I got my hands in here.
Do you know what? Actually, to try and do the Bernie Sanders voice, yeah, I was doing the hand. Because you got to do the voice if you want to try and do Bernie Sanders.
In the hand. You got to have the hand. Bernie had the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The next senator, she's gone for the classic webcam nose shot.
Nice.
Not realizing where the webcam is. And just look inside my brain is what she's going for there.
That's good. I do the same thing. I always trim nose hairs before I do one of these shows because it's never worth the risk. Never worth the risk.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens, really. I mean, it's just there. Just looking inside my brain. So she couldn't get the camera right. Mitt Romney, he was in there as well. He's in the Senate.
Wow.
I think Mitt has kids.
No, I think Mitt's got a color printer.
Yeah, definitely. Because he's notoriously cheap, so he's not paying to print those photos. And plus, when you've got like 38 grandchildren, you must have your own printer. I mean, that's just insane. Mitt is there with the kids.
Yeah.
Then, of course, because they're senators, some of them from the South, they've got to go rustic. This is the senator from Tennessee.
Okay.
Look at that.
Oh, that's nice.
Proper. And you know how he's done the shot, so you can definitely see what's in the background. You can see how much of an old school guy is. He's got his hunting trophies there. He's got a little hunting trophy there on the table, you can see. I think we got a close-up of that. Look at that. He's killed a dog.
Oh, bless. It looks like one of those fake ones you can get in shops.
I know. But I did it was alive. I did watch the hearing. But I mean, just definitely he's trying to humanize himself because he's on the Republican side of the party. So he wants people to go back to work. But look, I got a puppy.
Look at the dog. Look at the dog. Go back to work.
Go back to work. Look at the dog. Now, of course, because they were doing this down Zoom and whatnot, the technology was about as good as you can expect. This is just one tiny clip.
So this approach, we're not going to get anywhere, and that obviously is in the eyes of the beholder. I'm happy to say that we have a very good relationship with Governor Kelly, who happens to be a Democrat, obviously, a Republican. And her emergency management team is spot on. Dr. Lee Norman's doing an outstanding job. That's the rest of it. This morning I talked to Lee. The situation in Kansas is
Wow.
Government got bringing you to make sure that compliance with Congress is. I mean, the whole thing was that way. I don't know what Fauci was saying, if he was saying America's doomed or doing fine, because I missed every other word. That's why Trump was able to say the next day that Fauci said it was fine to open up the government. Go back to work. There's no problem at all. I can even see my mistresses again.
If Skype drops out over the word not, we're in trouble.
Exactly. I mean, how is that? I mean, this is the most powerful government in the history of humanity, and they can't even get a good Skype connection. It makes me feel better about that echo we had at the top of the show. But with the senator there, I can't remember which one he is. They're all the same. Did you see what the gloves he was wearing?
No.
Look at the gloves he had on. I mean, those are some serious gloves. Those aren't just like surgical gloves or anything else. I mean, I was looking at those, Steve. I don't know if you recognize. I was saying, where have I seen these gloves before? And then I remembered. It's Mickey Mouse. He's killed Mickey Mouse.
Interesting.
That's what he's done. Killed Mickey Mouse.
I don't know why. Yeah, he's an idiot wearing gloves like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's because he only has 3 fingers.
Yeah.
But did you see what was behind the senator in that one?
Very good. I'm reading here. Kansas receives 7,000 new COVID tests for cats with food processing facilities. You see this mirror behind me.
Now, I don't know if you've ever seen a mirror before, but I mean, so that he says that's a mirror, so that means that's a reflection. So what does that mean is coming towards him?
That's a stagecoach coming into Dodge as opposed to getting out of Dodge. Dodge City is my hometown.
It's a stagecoach. Oh my God! There's a stagecoach coming at the senator. I mean, well, that's insane. Who could be driving that stagecoach?
Yeah.
There we go. It's Cowboy Tim Kaine, the senator from Virginia. He's a bandit and a senator. That's a mask.
That is a great one. I might do next Tuesday when we do a show. I might wear that outfit. That looks pretty good.
It's not as good as my mask from Tuesday's show, where I was wearing these with the gusset.
Do you know what? Between you with that and me with one of these, we could both commit a crime and get rid of a body. And I'm not saying we're desperate for material, but if we end up doing that in like episode 12, something's gone wrong.
I think we could actually coordinate these Senate hearings, because with the technological know-how we have here, we could do it.
Who'd have thought? Was this like episode 12 or something? Now, who'd have thought? Just 12 shows ago, we had no idea how to use webcams, and now look at us, clips and mocking people who can't use webcams properly. I mean, if you look at a lot of them, made the mistake. The last guy that we saw, I think we can get a little bit of a brief clip of him again, just for that. Hang on, where is he? If we zoom in on this bit, what he's done wrong there is, as a bald man, I'm telling you, you don't have the camera high. You have the camera low. In fact, my phone now, when you take a picture, it tells you raise camera for better angle. Like, you don't know me that well. No one wants to see what's going on up there. Thank you.
Your phone does know where you've been, though.
Yeah,
so
it's telling the government. Eleanor says serial killer gloves, him or me. It's difficult to know. And Chris says hunting, shooting, and fishing cabin. It did look nice, didn't it? It'd be nice to get away.
It'd be nice, and I mean, there'll be lots of those houses available in Tennessee soon, because I think they've stopped during the lockdown, so there'll be some vacancies.
Yeah, bye-bye to them. Eleanor says, can't donate without leaving Tweetcast. It's a quandary. It's not that much of a quandary.
The donation link stays on there afterwards, so,
And also, I can see ahead what's happening for the rest of the show. No more jokes, so don't you worry about it, which is good. We're 3 minutes over time anyway, so you're not going to miss anything now. Feel free to go ahead and hit that donatey link. It would be very much appreciated, as we are in need of coffee.
Yeah, so anything you can contribute to the show definitely is appreciated. You can catch us. When can we catch you next, Steve?
I will be doing a live comedy show via the internet, but a stand-up comedy one. So it will be, hang on, where's the old, is this thing on? Those kind of jokes. I'll be doing those on Sunday night, 8 o'clock. A show hosted by one Mr. Erich McElroy. I don't know if you've heard of any of his oeuvre, but he gets about a bit.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna plug another show there for a second, Steve.
That'd be quite the move.
It's not funny. Yes, we will be doing a crack comedy live on Sunday night, right here, and you will be right there because again, don't go anywhere, especially on public transport. It'll be at 8 o'clock, and you can book places. It's free if you're a key worker or NHS, but you can book a ticket for us poor comedians on the Crack Comedy website. And we've got Steve, who's fantastic, and we also have Jen Brister and Nathan Caton, and one more act to be determined because Beck's pretty busy right now. And they've both been on Live at the Apollo. You've been on BBC's The MASH Report, and I've been on Sky News.
Yeah, you've been on Comics in Quarantine Solving Problems, the hottest new.
That is-
This show is so good. I was a guest on BBC Guernsey or Jersey, or both, because of this show. This show's going places, baby. If you want to get in touch, send messages.
You guys are all along for the ride. So, I think feel free to share it. There was a version of this which will be up on YouTube. If you enjoyed it, you can share it with your friends. You can subscribe to our new YouTube channel. And we're back doing this again Tuesday and Thursday next week. But we will be also online Sunday at 8 o'clock in the UK time. I think that's we've covered and solved all the problems in the world.
Yeah, the MASH Report, there's still some on the iPlayer, but no more new episodes, which means I finally get my front room back, which is actually quite nice. If you look at the newspapers, the Hackney Gazette, the Chad, Romford Recorder, the columns in them all through the week, so that'd be fun for you to do. Nice. Other than that, I'll just be sitting around in this chair, rocking backwards and forwards, waiting for the next show to start, which will be Tuesday at 9 o'clock. That's all from me. Anything else from you, Eric?
That's it. We'll see you guys then. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.